The college football experience, Oklahoma Sooners 2025 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com with our promo code. Yes, that's TCE SGPN. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Brian Bosworth, a.k.a. The Boz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother. Peace out. Boz out.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Oklahoma Sooners Sooner. 2025 season preview episode, youtube.com/the college experience. We've been rolling along. I'm breaking out all 136 teams in the land. Just did the South Carolina Gamecocks. And we're deep into this thing. So go check out all the episodes. And also subscribe iTunes and Spotify, because I have a bunch of coaching interviews that we did not have video available. So there is a bunch of content coming out that is strictly audio. It's like you're getting the special edition shit going on here, right? This is like the Nixon tapes. You know what I mean? You're finding out shit you never knew. All right, there's deleted stuff out there. So subscribe over there. iTunes, Spotify, and while you're there, just give us 5 stars. Appreciate that. But yes, this is the Oklahoma Sooners preview. YouTube.com/the college experience. I do have a great slideshow going, and it is a interesting time in a big time year for Brent Venables, and we will talk about it all. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swigga, Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
One of the top 10 winningest programs in college football history. Big year there in Norman, Oklahoma. I am joined by my co-host, who is also the host of the college basketball experience with myself. When the season goes live over there for college hoops, we're live every night of the season, just like we are with college football. Give it up for former staffer at Austin Peay with the Governors, at South Carolina with the Gamecocks, and at West Virginia with the Mountaineers, Ryan McIntyre, aka Moneyline Mac. How are you, brother?
What is up, man? Yes, Boomer Sooner. Big year for Coach Venables. Let's go.
Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
It is a big year. It is a gigantic year because, short of the mid 90s when they had a 4-year stretch, I think it was, they 2 losing seasons in 3 seasons ain't cutting it. So it is a big year. Let's just jump right into the slideshow. Brent Venables. I like Brent Venables. Former K-State linebacker, played for Bill Snyder. Coached at Oklahoma during some of their most successful seasons with Bob Stoops. Was at Clemson winning natties with Dabo Swinney. But man, 22 and 17. I'm sorry. 2 losing seasons out of 3 seasons. Ain't really cutting it. It is a gigantic year for Brent Venables. Where are you at with Coach Venables? Because I like him and I'm rooting for him. What are you doing here?
I'm with you. I like Venables. I liked him at Clemson. He's a K-State guy. but those results ain't cutting it, man. They hadn't had a losing season in the 21st century. They've had 2 over the last 3 years. I know you transition leagues, but you had 1 in each league. So you can't really use that excuse either. And it's just been, it's offensively, they've been challenged 2 out of the 3 years. So especially last year at the quarterback position. So they made a bunch of changes. We'll see if it works. You can only fire so many coordinators before you got to be able to point at yourself. But I'm pulling for Venables. I'm with you. I think he's a good football coach.
Well, and they even that 10-3 year, they didn't sniff they didn't make the Big 12 championship. So like the 3 straight years, they had that amazing schedule. It went 23. So it's really saving his record at this point. But let's get into it because the offense is under a new offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle. No relation to Charles coming in. I've been following Ben for a long time, to tell you the truth, Mac. He was at Washington State last year. Before that, he was at Western Kentucky, and I remember him at Houston Baptist, the school with the CVS in the stadium. But him and FAU's head coach. Why am I drawing a blank on FAU's head coach? This is what happens when you have just done a bunch of shows in one day. FAU's new head coach. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now.
Kitley.
Yeah, Zach Kitley, who was he was there at Houston Christian with Zach Kitley and Western Kentucky with him. Well, you're going to need to be better on offense. That's why Arbuckle's coming in. They were 97th in scoring offense, 119th in passing offense, 76th in rush offense, 113th in total offense. So a bottom, what was there, 134 last year? So a bottom, 25 offense. Now, they did have injuries. I do remember like watching games. They had a bunch of receivers that were out and injured. That played a part, some of it, but also, Arbuckle's. It's interesting. It's just an interesting spot for Arbuckle because you bring in John Mateer, who is, by the way, a junior, and John Mateer, Washington State starting quarterback from a year ago, and they only returned 3 starters besides. It depends how you look at it. Are you counting Mateer because he was in Arbuckle's offense as a returning starter because he was at Washington State in Arbuckle's offense? At Oklahoma, there's only 3 returning starters. They're all on the offensive line: left tackle Jacob Sexton, right guard Fabici Nwawu, and safety Troy Everett. All back. That's it. Now they went out to the portal and they brought in John Mateer, 32 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. And if you listened to us last year, I was a big fan of John Mateer. Fantasy wise, I loaded up on him in fantasy, and I love seeing the raw skills. I actually think he's like perfect for like a Rich Rod offense, but go in air raid, and that's the thing. I think where you at with Mateer, because there was games where, oh my God, that he'd flash. I remember, I think it was the New Mexico game. He threw for close to 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he had like another 60 on the ground or something. But man, I understand the naysayers also. Like I did a deep dive on this because I was listening to some stuff because I was like, he's a good guy. He's a good get. I can see he's got raw athleticism. But at the same time, I could also see the downside of that when I did a deeper dive against the best competition that he faced, like Washington. He was 17 of 34 for 1 touchdown and 1 pick. Now he still ran for 62 yards against Texas Tech. The guy ran for 200 yards almost, but he was 9 of 19 for 115 yards, 47% completion percentage. That is a little alarming. But against Boise, who was a playoff team, he did throw for 327. You got to remember that he was a first-time starter. I mean, he got some play previous years, but not much. Where are you at with Mateer? Because I think he's one of the most exciting players in college football. But I also do wonder how his body will hold up if they run him that many times in the SEC.
Well, yeah, because he played the Mountain West last year. It wasn't even the Pac-12, Pac-2. So, yeah, he had a couple electric games on the ground, the Texas Tech game. He was up and down. I mean, he's super talented. You can, like you said, you see the raw skills. The New Mexico game, 400 yards. He lit up Hawaii. San Jose State. I mean, that crazy double overtime game. He was awesome in that game. But he did have some turnovers as well, and they did not finish the season strong, losing their final 3 games, and he was not good, especially in that Wyoming game at the very, very end of the year. So transition over to the SEC. They're putting a lot of faith in a Wazoo transfer and a 29-year-old offensive coordinator here.
Yeah, I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures. I just wonder how well they're going to run the ball. That was one of their best areas a season ago, and then they went out and brought in a running back that I think is one of the best in the country. Went healthy, and Jadyn Ott. This guy's rushed for over 2,500 yards and 30 touchdowns in his career. Now, I'm a big fan, but following Arbuckle, Houston Christian, Western Kentucky, and even Washington State did not really commit to the run much. So I'm fascinated by this get, because I think he is like a top 10 running back in college football. Like, when healthy, he is a very, very good running back. Oklahoma has been known for good running backs, whether it's Billy Sims or Adrian Peterson or Steve Sewell or James Allen back in the day, or Quentin Griffin. I just was a little surprised. I mean, I get it. He was going to go to Cal. Cal had the NIL check stop coming. He was going to stay at Cal, and then Oklahoma offered a bag of cash. And yeah, where you at with the Ott? Because I'm just curious how many touches he'll get in this offense.
Well, he had the big 23 year, 1,300 yards. So he's coming off an injury. Got to be a bounce back year as well. But yeah, I mean, Oklahoma, you're not just going to be able to throw the ball all over the yard in the SEC. You got to be able to run the ball and be a little bit balanced.
Yeah, and if he's healthy, he is a really underrated running back, in my opinion. They like I said, 3 returning starters. They went out to the portal. They brought in a slew of guys. One of the things I couldn't help but laugh at was the amount of Bay Area guys, or slash Pac-12 for a conference that's demise. I think that conference was better than the reputation they got. You saw Cam Ward as the first pick of the draft, Travis Hunter right after, and it's like these guys played in the Pac-12. Mateer, if Oklahoma, like, why is it like Wazoo, right? Mateer, Wazoo, Jadyn Ott, Cal, Josiah Martin, Cal. And they brought in a bunch of Stanford offensive linemen. Just saying, it just when it doesn't add up sometimes when I see this shit. Like, anyway, they brought in a slew of guys. Mateer at the QB spot. Whit Neubauer, great name, from the Mercer Bears, coming in at the quarterback spot. Jadyn Ott, as I alluded to. Javonnie Gibson, a wideout from they put out an APB on Pine Bluff. Javonnie Gibson coming in from Arkansas Pine Bluff. Keontae Lewis from Southern Illinois. I mean, this is another one. I believe he was at UCLA at one point. Then he was at Wisconsin. Then Southern Illinois. Chris Farley. He was in Pasadena. Then went to Madison. Right? Then Carbondale, Illinois. Then shoots over to Norman, Oklahoma. Okay. Isaiah Sategna from Arkansas comes in at a wide receiver spot. Jermichael Carter from McNeese. Josiah Martin from Cal, as I alluded to. Carson Kent, not Clark Kent. Carson Kent, tight end from Kennesaw State. Tight end John Locke from La Tech. Tight end Will Huggins from Pittsburgh State. The Gorillas, baby. Let's go. Then the O-line, Mac. Stanford's Luke Baklenko, their starter. Also, Stanford's starting offensive, I believe he's a guard, Jake McCullough, and Western Carolina's Derek Simmons. Whew, that's a shit ton of offensive transfers.
No
and
shit.
80% of them are from the Bay Area, I feel like. But I guarantee you the passing offense will be better. John Mateer is a baseball player, by the way. Like those, they're going to be able to sling the rock much, much, much better. The offensive line is looking better. The run game, the talent is there. I don't know how much they're going to commit. I'm going to say this. The rushing numbers are going to be worse because I don't think they're going to commit enough to the run. The passing numbers are going to jump up just by a gigantic amount, in my opinion. But the rush numbers might be able to stay there if Mateer runs because he is fucking athletic, man. I can tell you this: total offense is going to shoot the fuck up. This is going to be a top 50 offense, in my opinion. What are you doing here?
I think the rushing numbers go up to your point with Mateer's dual threat and Ott's over 1,000-yard rusher if he could stay healthy. They go out and get the Stanford offensive lineman. Then they got that trio of receivers in Lewis, Gibson, and Carter. So I think they got enough pieces here. I think this offense is going to jump into a fringe top 50 offense. I have confidence that this thing will work because I'm a believer in Mateer.
Yeah, and we're going to talk defense in a second. But before we do that, I do want to let you know that the college football experience, Oklahoma Boomer Sooner style, is part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And look, the Sports Gambling Podcast is back with their 32-team NFL preview series. They're also bringing back the phrase that pays. Each episode, they'll give out one word of a 32-word phrase. Submit that phrase for a chance to win $1,000 circa future. So get on over there and do that. Also, we're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport, including all those summer sports. I bet the hell out of the CFL, MLB, WNBA, golf, racing, tennis. All right, I'll be honest. I really only bet the hell out of CFL and MLB, but the other ones I occasionally. My bookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations. And by the way, college football and NFL futures are available there. You can easily deposit, get lightning fast payouts using crypto. So head on over to mybookie.ag. But when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. Of course, that's mybookie.ag. Promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. You probably heard me talk about Rhythm before. Well, they just dropped a new game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's motto is consistently won and has a very high ROI. Think like a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. And Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm and Rhythm only. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets, baby. Look, the MLB Power Trends, 254 and 147, a win rate of 63%, and an ROI of 4.5% in their last 400 bets. The WNBA Power Trends even better, 35 and 20 since they launched, 64% just about. But the win rate, I mean, besides the win rate, the ROI 20.7%. Woo! Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know damn well we will be. Also, get your free 7-day trial period today. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we are back. And Brent Venables is a defensive guy. Like I said, former Bill Snyder linebacker. Stoops actually was on his staff, I believe. Bill Snyder's staff. That's how they know each other, I believe. 12th in scoring defense, the Sooners were last season. 44th in pass defense. 18th in rush defense, starting at the 16th best defense for Todd Bates and Jay Valai. Okay. I expect the defense to continue to be good because they return 3 of their best. Their D line is going to be a problem, in my opinion. Demonic Williams, Jaden Jackson, R. Mason Thomas, all back. Curious about the secondary with only 2 back with Eli Bowen and Robert Spears Jennings. Linebacker Kip Lewis back as well for the Sooners. They did hit the portal, of course, like every team does these days. And they brought in Marvin Jones. Yes, that is the son of Marvin Jones, the former Florida State Seminole New York Jet back in the 90s. That's a nice get. He hasn't, you know what's weird? He hasn't lived up to the potential that I thought when he was at Georgia, then he went to Florida State. Now he's at Oklahoma, but if anyone can get him to play, maybe it's Venables. They also brought in a few other guys on the defensive side of the ball. Kendall Daniels from Oklahoma State. Disgusting.
Come on.
I mean, do we not? I get it. You know, it's a different day and age, Dundee. All right. But damn it, the reason why we care so much, like you understand, like if you continue to go down this path, No one will care. College football, you care. The fans care, right? The fans care way more than really any other sport, I think. And if you continue to do this, I think it hurts the caring. So, and long term, that money might go away because without the care, it changes that. So I think a lot of people.
The fuck is that?
Yeah. See, I mean, you could transfer to any other school, but I mean,
You disloyal fool ass bitch made punk.
You can't go bedlam. Come on.
and I would never say that to your face, for the record. But my point is, like, you still have to have rules. All right. I would say that to your face, being like, what are we doing, man? You could have gone anywhere. They offer you a bag. Gotta have a little bit of rules. They also bring in Lola Ale from Utah State on the D line, and then a slew of kickers and punters. I love the fact they raided Kennesaw State. What they get, a guy or two on the offensive side of the ball, and then they just said, we're going to take the entire Kennesaw State kicking game. Brad Martin in the chat having a good one here with Kennesaw State. Yeah.
Like
there's a pipeline. There's a pipeline through They did beat Liberty, the Flamin' Libs, last year. But Mac, will the defense be top 25? I think it is going to be.
Yeah, as long as Venables is there. Like you said, defense has not been the problem with Venables there. It's been the offensive side of the ball. So they should be really good up front in the trenches once again with all the returning production. And I would anticipate this unit to be very, very strong once again, like every Venables defense is.
I will say that, we're answering all these questions. Oh, the offense will be better. The defense will be this. This is all pending him coaching the entire year. Like, I feel like if he gets fired, like after the Red River shootout,
well, it means they suck.
Well, I know that, but I also think, like, then you have to worry about like the whole team will transfer. Nowadays we have to factor this in. We didn't have to do this 6-7 years ago or 4 years ago even. But when a major school is paying the shit out of players, and a coach gets fired, like, you've seen some teams quit. Remember that Florida team a couple years ago when Oregon State beat the hell out of them in the what is it, Las Vegas Bowl or something. But you've seen Florida State last year. I mean, you when you miss out on your playoff or a coach, it's any type of real adversity to a certain extent when you're loading up a roster that's pay for play. And I'm not saying Oklahoma is 100% that, because Florida State hits the portal every year, it seems like, but there is that chance with the coaching uncertainty, because I think the Florida situation was with Dan Mullen got canned, is my point. So just something to pay attention to. Look, we talk about state of the program here, and that has to do with everything. Your head coach, your coaching staff, your roster, your recruiting, your transfer portal gets, your fan base, and your stadium. And Mac, I am a sucker for Oklahoma Memorial Stadium here. 102 years young. I love this stadium. I think it is one that needs to be protected at all costs. And look at this thing, man. I mean, it's just a classic college football stadium, man. It's everything that is right with college. Look at that shit, man. Get yourself out to a game. I don't even care if you're in Anchorage, Alaska. Get down to an Oklahoma Sooners game. This thing is fire. Look, check out this birthday cake, by the way. I was in the middle of searching for these photos, and that's a fire-ass birthday cake someone made for an Oklahoma fan, I assume. Or maybe not. Maybe you do that as a fuck you to one of your buddies that's like a State fan or a Texas fan. You just say, oh, I got your birthday cake, man. But the detail in that is phenomenal. So, somebody put me in touch with these people that make these birthday cakes. Phenomenal stuff. But yes, the stadium is fantastic, much like Texas's. And of course, they play that one game at the Cotton Bowl, which is a fucking incredible stadium. But Mac, look at this thing. They know what they're doing. See how they don't make it look like a spaceship? They make it look like a regal, royal, classic football stadium. That is why I love college football. One of the big reasons why I love college football. But I mean, it's just phenomenal. It's phenomenal, and they have so much cool stuff. If you go there, if I've been lucky. I haven't been there for a game, but I went there. If you go there, you'll see they have just tons of history. They're a top 10 winning program all time. And they have everyone should get to the stadium, in my opinion. Like I said, I didn't even go there for a game, but I just hung out there and acted like a homeless person. Right? It's like I was in awe of the Barry Switzer statue. I was waiting for him to give me a fucking $100 to go get a meal or something. But I was just sitting there, just like this is a chapel. This is everything that's great about the sport of college football. And they have all these things. I mean, the field is phenomenal. Like the fan base is phenomenal. And look at that. Come on, man.
Like, Sooner, baby.
I'm not even like a diehard Oklahoma fan, but I'll be good dying there. All right. Like if you're telling me Dundee, you're gonna bite into a fucking cheeseburger, 6 Jaeger bombs deep at that stadium, and it's the last sight you ever see, I'm good. Sign me up for that. Just hopefully it's in 60 years or something like that. But look, I mean, look at this. They got all the hardware from their classic era or classic eras that they've been through. I mean, so many Heisman Trophy winners. That's the cool part, dude. This shit, in a way, I would probably spread this out, but they didn't do it. They had their own thoughts. Cool. I appreciate originality, and they got the Billy Sims stuff, like Jason White, Sam Bradford statue hasn't gotten injured yet, so that's another great thing. As far as I know, check out this shit too. Billy Sims, man, one of the greatest running backs. And you know what's crazy is Billy Sims was such a good fucking running back in the NFL. If he didn't play on AstroTurf, he would have destroyed records. And he was also number 20 that played for the Detroit Lions. So Barry Sanders took his number and just everyone forgets Billy Sims, man, fucking dog. And he's got his own barbecue joint there all throughout Oklahoma. Go get yourself out to Billy Sims barbecue. All right. And look, their fans do it right. They're all doing Jaeger bombs there. You know what I mean? I'll die there too. That's a great spot. You got Jason White throwing a touchdown pass there into Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. I mean, everything about this is phenomenal. Look at this shit. You got the westward expansion happening right in front of the goddamn stadium. All right. They're heading west. The Sooners get out to a game. And stormed the field last season. How great was that, Mac? When they beat Alabama.
Completely.
Yeah, look at this. Storm your field. Don't listen to Greg Sankey's bullshit. Oh, I was so fine. You can't do this. It's unprofessional. It's a health risk. Don't shut the fuck up. We got a 150-year window of this. It's okay. Storm the field. You pay like I don't know what Oklahoma's what you pay to go to school there, but I would imagine it's like $20,000 a year. Come on, this is it. This is your right to get there and have the time of your life and storm the damn field when you have a big win. All right, look at them taking down the goalpost. Thank you, Norman. That
was really highlight of the year last year.
Damn right. So enjoy it. All right, enjoy it. And look, these guys doing Jaeger bombs right outside the stadium. Fantastic stuff. And don't forget that look, you got horses, you got goddamn, remember when I forget what game that was, but remember when the wagon fell over? Classic moment. Yes. Classic moment.
Every time they shit the bed, the meme comes back.
Yeah. And shout out to Sam. Sankey is a terrorist. Storm the field. Amen. Then look at these. The fans are awesome. It's like half bus, half get wasted on the other side of this thing. Yeah, they put a flame on the front of it. Of course they did, because why not? All right. Then look, it's like you're sitting there. There's just statues everywhere. I'm telling you, I was just blown away by this. Everywhere you go, it's like, damn, they got this. They need a Bosworth statue, by the way. And shout out to their fans back in the day. I argued with someone yesterday on Twitter that was upset because Michigan State games are cold occasionally. That they should build a dome is what the person was saying, which is absolutely ridiculous because we're just the worst generation. Look at the old school Oklahoma fans in the middle of a monsoon. They don't give a shit. They are out there supporting football because that's football should be played in the elements. All right. That is awesome. Oklahoma's fan base is fantastic. Barry Switzer statue. I mean, and by the way, Barry Switzer, all-time G head coach. What did he bring? Like a shotgun to the airport? Oh,
Yes. He didn't mean to. It just happened to get in his bag.
Is there a problem with this? I thought this was America. We can't bring a shotgun on the plane. Barry Switzer, by the way, and someone needs to hook me up with this, Matt, because I was doing my homework for this. I did not realize that Switzer has
his own beer.
Anyone in the Oklahoma area, I will gladly Venmo you and send you SGPN and College Football Experience gear. If someone can send me a 6-pack of Barry Switzer beer, because I would like that in our studio. I would like that up on the studio, because Barry Switzer ain't putting up with no bullshit. All right, and I need to have a Switzer can on like sitting there, 6-pack, just sitting there on the shelf. So please, if you can, Mac, what do you give that stadium, and then what do you give the state of the program? 10 on the stadium?
10, yeah. It's 80,000 strong. Like you said, it's so unique. It's always packed, and it's always rocking. The Sooner fans are awesome. So even with the tough year last year, they showed out. You saw it when they in that Alabama game, that atmosphere, get that, spoil their party. So program, I'll go 6.
This is where we got to have a serious conversation. And folks, please send me that beer without the anthrax. Because I appreciate what Oklahoma has been historically. I do.
Yep.
But I also think I personally believe this, not because of my wants. I believe they made a mistake leaving the Big 12, especially because we knew a 12-team playoff was looming, right? I think that was foolish, in my opinion. So I think you have to ask yourself, with 2 losing seasons out of the last 3 years, and if this doesn't work out this year, that could potentially be 3 out of 4 seasons. And then you're hitting refresh in a conference where you don't have the in-state talent that a bunch of other teams in the conference do. And everyone can pay now. It's legal to pay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes like this each state, and the reason why I think you've seen this resurgence from the Big Ten and Notre Dame is because they can pay, and they're starting to pay, and also those states make a shit ton more money than a lot of the southern/Midwest states. I think that is something to worry about, even though we know the southern and Midwest states, some of them regard football in a much different manner than, say, the West Coast or certain Northeast schools or Northeast states. I still think it's a legit crisis, and that is why I have given them the slogan, myself, Patty C, and NC Nick, of Arklahoma, the Sooners. We call them Arklahoma because, Mac, Oklahoma is a top 10 winning program of all time. Well, if only we had evidence of a program. Oh, the 33rd winningest program of all time is Arkansas. But what I find fitting is, prior to them joining the SEC, they were the number 11 winningest program of all time. That is concerning to me, because Arkansas, much like Oklahoma, doesn't have the in-state talent. Now, of course, they both border Texas, but still, it's a worthy conversation in an era where everybody can pay. You're seeing Cody Campbell and Texas Tech spending out their ass. SMU's back spending out their ass.
Mm-hmm.
A&M has endless money. Texas has endless money. So if Oklahoma's going into Texas to bring most of their guys in, do they have that type of money with those other schools, which they may with the SEC money? But also, it just is an interesting thing. Georgia talent goes to Georgia a lot of times. You know, I mean, sure, it spreads out a little bit with the money. LSU talent, well, LSU, Louisiana talent goes to LSU. So, like, I think it's a really one of the more fascinating things. And I think that I do believe they fucked up by joining the SEC. I know. You ever heard the term, or the quote, like, you trip on a nickel to make a dollar?
Yep.
I think a lot of times you think like, oh, they're joining the SEC, much like Arkansas.
Nebraska.
Nebraska is a perfect example. It's like you're going to get that Big Ten SEC money, but we had Larry the Cable Guy on the show once, and he was a longtime Nebraska fan. He got his kids. He gets a suite at the stadium and everything. He's like, my kids don't even give a shit because it's been so long since they haven't been very good in so long. So that is something to keep in mind here. And I don't say this as a hater for Oklahoma. I was a huge fan of that national championship team. Mike Leach, friend of mine, rest in peace. I would love for them to stay at the level they're at. But I just am genuinely concerned that they made the wrong decision. How about you?
I do. I thought at the time that they got pressured by Texas and kind of had fear of missing out, that they didn't want to lose the Red River shootout and potentially, and they got pressured into a situation where I think they are going to regret it. And I think that they slowly are not fading. I mean, they're still going to be Oklahoma, but like they lost a little bit of their juice, a little bit of their brand, in my opinion, going from the Big 12 to the SEC, because they won 6 straight Big 12 titles. They would be in the playoff a lot in the Big 12, and the path would be much easier because of just the way that they were constructed to win Big 12 games. They were the dominant team in the Big 12, not Texas. Everybody acts like it was Texas. Texas won 1 Big 12 title in 15 years before jumping to the SEC. Oklahoma had won like 8 or 9 during that time and has owned the Red River shootout for the last 2 decades.
Yeah, I mean, my point is though, is that like you look at like the top 25 winningest schools.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma is currently in 3rd in their conference. Alabama and Texas ahead of them, but right on their heels is the Georgia Bulldogs, the Tennessee Volunteers, the LSU Tigers, the Auburn Tigers, the Texas A&M Aggies, and the Florida Gators, all in the top 30, right? That is concerning to me because I don't think they can produce the same amount of resources within their state as a lot of those schools, because you have competition. You know what I mean? Like LSU does not have I know we laugh at this. They don't have an Oklahoma State there, right? Or if you're getting all your talent from Texas, which a lot of times you were, Texas Tech is all of a sudden throwing major money. SMU's throwing major money again. A&M and Texas do throw major money, always have. I think it's an interesting TCU, even with their national championship appearance. Even they got blown out. They got to a natty recently. It's just an interesting question. So I gave it a 5 of 10 as a state of the program, just because I don't know why they were so willing to say yes, besides just the tie-in with Texas, but they were winning the Big 12 almost every year. It was I don't know that was the best decision. That's all I'm saying.
No, yeah. I agree with you. We said this when it happened, and it's kind of played out the way it has so far. So, their path is tough to the playoff now, even in the SEC, like even with the SEC bias when it comes to the playoff. Yeah.
Well, let's get to the schedule. But before we get to the schedule, I want to let you know that the college football experience is brought to you by Circa Millions and Circa Survivor. Yes, the world's greatest sports book, Circa Las Vegas, is hosting the world's biggest pro football contest, Circa Millions, Circa Survivor, and Circa Grandissimo, with over $21 million in guaranteed prizes. You can't call yourself a true DGen if you're not competing in the Circa football contest. And what are you doing? Come out August 21st to August 23rd. That's a Circa contest weekend, but it's also week 0 college football. And myself and Moneyline Mac will be live doing shows from the Circa. There's open bars, and the Sports Gambling Podcast guys, my pals, Sean Stacking and Money Green, Ryan Real Money Kramer, CJ Sullivan, all going to be out there with us. Plus, you get 15% off your hotel stay at Circa with our promo code SGP15. The contests are open to everyone, too. Sign up in Nevada. You can play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com and use that promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. Do that, and remember, as always, folks, to let it ride. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Best Ball Mania has been happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. Look, there's no waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best ball is the best way to play fantasy football, folks. So sign up, and when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits there. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCE SGPN. All right, we are back. The chat's rocking. I believe they do have a statue of Sam Bradford now, Richard. And Shake Griffin saying Bud Elliott always says take the money, take the losses out of conference realignment. Yeah, I question it long term. I know Bobby Bowden had a great, God rest his soul. He's passed away too, but he had plenty of offers to jump to better conferences at the time. The ACC's never been the premier football conference, at least in my lifetime. And he had offers to, and he didn't. And he was, I think he understood it better than most. He didn't just chase the check. He knew that the check was also them going undefeated and keeping the fan base intact, in my opinion. You've seen Nebraska. I know they have the sellout streak, which is fake, I think. As someone that's been as someone that's been to a few games. I just think it's going to be fascinating to watch. I don't know that it was the smartest move. I understand short term, yes, it was the smartest move. You're going to get that SEC money, but long term, I do have my concerns. Let's get to the schedule though, man. Week 1. The Oklahoma Sooners are taking on Illinois State. I feel like they never would play FCSs in the Big 12. You take the check, you add an FCS. Does Bud Elliott say that? Pick Dundee says that. You take the check, you add an FCS.
Hey, at least at the front end, I guess.
That's true. Win.
Yeah, this could be a blowout.
Illinois, yeah.
They're not even good.
Let me tell you, if it's not a blowout, then we DEFCON 5. You know what I mean? 1-0. Then week 2, the Michigan Wolverines and Sharon Moore, who is a former OU grad, played ball at OU under Bob Stoops, come into Stillwater. Jesus, come into Norman.
Oh,
yeah, that's a 1-star. My apologies. I like how Mike Gundy's brother was at Oklahoma, though. You know what I mean? So like, if you've been watching college football as long as me, you remember both Gundys. All right, playing football. I have Oklahoma winning this game. Let me correct that 1-star, folks. Before you do that, I think this will be Bryce Underwood's first ever road start, and you're going into a legendary venue with a unique home edge. One thing I've learned about watching college football religiously since the late 80s, early 90s was I will always fade a young quarterback on the road at a crazy hostile environment.
Yeah.
Sooners 2-0. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, is Moore even going to be coaching for this game?
Yeah, he avoided this because he wanted to come home. You've seen this, right? He's not. He is coaching this game.
I didn't know if they overturned it yet. I'm with you.
All right, no, I don't think there's been an official ruling, but they're attempting to have him coach this game because this is his homecoming, essentially.
Yeah. Alma mater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me Oklahoma. I'll take Mateer in a big primetime spotlight game over Underwood in his first road start. I am worried that Michigan may be too good in the trenches, but I think Oklahoma can bang with them.
I'm fascinated by seeing the narrative that Mateer's never faced a good defense, or if he faced a good defense, he's been terrible. We're going to know right here.
Yeah. Michigan can play defense.
Yeah. We're going to know right here. I got him 2-0 though.
Yep.
Then week 3, what? Do not adjust your television or your computer or your laptop or your iPhone, whatever the fuck you're using these days. Oklahoma's playing at Temple.
Getting some recruiting done in the Philly area, huh?
I don't understand this one. Someone make this make sense to me. I mean, I knew Temple had the all-time series lead before a home and home, and maybe that's what it took for Oklahoma saying we need the all-time series lead because they played in Norman, I think last year or the year before. At the link, strange fucking game. I don't know I am kind of baffled by this game. I assume Oklahoma wins by 4 touchdowns, but Casey Keeler's a dog as a head coach.
Yeah,
but this is
there'll be more Oklahoma fans.
This is such a Big Ten game. Norman, Oklahoma against Philadelphia.
Yeah, this game's trash.
What's the gif everyone uses? Like they should have Tony Battiti doing like the sunglasses of like, oh, I see what you're doing over here, right? How about you guys join the Big Ten? This screams Rutgers, Washington, and Maryland, UCLA. 3-0. How about you?
3-0 blowout. This Temple game's awful.
I mean, this might be Temple's biggest crowd just because I feel like the average person in Philly is like, oh, fuck it. We're never going to get a chance to see Oklahoma. Let's go see Oklahoma.
I know.
Right?
Well, you got to think maybe the Oklahoma fans be like, oh, let's go to Philly for the weekend. You catch an Eagles game after, go to Jalen Hurts.
I always want to know the backstories on these because I honestly, I know our planet better than some, not many. Like, is this like just a game of golf between like ADs where he lost? And like, he's like, I was interviewing Jim McMahon once, and Jim McMahon was in Chicago at the same time as Jordan was. And he was like, man, he's like, Jordan was my guy, but we would go golfing. And like first 9 holes would be like, $100 a hole. And then on the back 9, if I beat him, he was like, let's make it $1 million a hole. And I'm like, dude, I don't have that type of fucking money. Right. Well, it makes you think though, like some of this stuff is probably concocted.
Yeah.
It probably like, this is a game that you're just wondering, like, there's no way Temple just called and said, how about a home and home? And Oklahoma said, yes. There has to be more to the story.
There's a favor. Somebody's banging somebody's sister.
Something's going on, man. Something's going on for this game to be played in Philly.
Yeah.
But 3-0. Then Hugh Strip Club Freeze and the Auburn Tigers come trotting in to Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. Yeah, I'm not buying this Auburn hype. Series goes back to 1971. What's that?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win in Norman either. I got Oklahoma 4-0. I know they pulled one out of their ass at Auburn last year.
Oh, they did, dude.
That was
I bet Oklahoma that day, and man, did I get fortunate. Yeah, 4-0. Holy shit, Venables doing it. Then you get a bye week. Shout out to Brian Bosworth, legendary, Stone Cold, still better than any action movie the past 20 years. Go check out Stone Cold by the Boz. You heard him on the intro. Shout out to the Boz. I still have a theory he's the coolest college football player of all time. Then, oh come on, stop it.
This is a great schedule with these cupcakes. 5-0 by $1 million.
We're breaking down 136 teams. I have Kent State ranked 136th, and I'll be honest, I host the FCS College Football Experience as well. I would have Kent State as a middle of the road FCS team. See, here's something I will say that this, like, Greg Sankey's passing out packets about how hard the SEC schedule is. And there's some validity to it. There is. But I also believe, like, all that shit, Bill Connolly's rankings, and I love Bill Connolly. I think he does a great job, but they don't also look at, like, to me, there is a gigantic difference between playing Northern Illinois or Kent State. You know what I mean? Like Kent State and so they have Illinois State and Kent State on the schedule. I believe those are worse than any other. Like the only one that would be comparable is Florida State taking on Texas A&M Commerce and Kent State, which is worse, by the way. Florida State's is worse than non-con, but I do believe they overlook that shit sometimes. They're only looking at the SEC schedule. This game's ridiculous. This is a ridiculous game. I'll lay the 52.5 with Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's a fake.
What are you doing here?
Fake game.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. 5-0. Awful.
And then boom.
Here
the Red River Shootout at the legendary Cotton Bowl Stadium. Don't ever take it out of the Cotton Bowl. This is, in my opinion, this is like a top 5 rivalry in college football. A lot of times I feel like it's 1 or 2. In my opinion, I know other people clash with me, but I really love this rivalry. I think it's fantastic. And It's 125 years old, and I am taking Oklahoma to upset Texas. If you listen to our Texas episode, I gave away this one. I said Venables is going to get him, right? Going to get him. Texas plays at Florida the week before. It's a harder stretch for them. Give me Oklahoma 6-0. What are you doing here?
Yeah, Oklahoma's won 11 out of 16 in this thing. As long as they have a healthy quarterback, with Tears healthy, I'll take Oklahoma. This is big game. Sark laying an egg in the Red River Shootout. Let's go. Yeah, give it sooner.
I mean, I know this game is ridiculous, like it is every year. I don't care if they're national championship contenders or battling for bowl eligibility. This game is always insane to me for the most part. Like it hits at like a 97% rate of being insane. You got to love the schedule thus far. I know right now is when we would queue up our theme on a lot of our shows, and no, it's not this one.
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
It's not that one. I apologize. I just wanted to hear that. It is this one.
I think tide turning. As I remember, I was raised in the desert, but tides kind of it's easy to see a tide turn.
Mac, this is the part where the tide turns, like right up the Kent State game. Because you load up into the Red River Shootout, and I have them winning this 6-0. But the very next week, if you win the Red River Shootout, you now have to go to Williams-Brice Stadium to take on South Carolina.
Oh shit!
We just did our South Carolina preview. I took South Carolina. You foolishly have them winning both at the Red River Shootout and then at South Carolina.
I got
good luck, buddy.
I got to Benedict this one. I didn't realize they had Red River the week before. I'll keep the Texas win.
Well, I don't get they bring the egg cold,
But they're counting down 7-6.
Sorry, Lou Holt said something about what's that?
And that keeps me on the under for South Carolina. So South Carolina is 7-5, but they're still on the under. There you go. Yeah, this is they're not going to win both of these games. So
no
I'll
way.
give them a loss.
No fucking way will they win both those games.
Yeah.
So 6-1 for me, 6-1 for you. Then Ole Miss and the Lane Train comes to town. And this is what I mean. This is your gut check. And this is where I understand people saying Oklahoma's schedule is incredibly tough. I would push back a little bit on the first half, but the second half of the season is fucking insane. I got Boomer Sooner winning this though. They should have won last year. I thought they were in that game. Ole Miss to me is still a little bit phony to me, so I will take the Sooners to get this one. Bounce back.
7-1.
Yeah, 7-1. How about you?
I think I agree with you. I if the game is in Oxford, I'd be on Ole Miss, but games in Norman, give me Oklahoma and a bounce back. And now here comes the road stretch.
Well, then they go to Tennessee, and look, I'm not very high on Tennessee this year, but then I remember Josh Heupel, like has it out
personal.
Yeah, and well, he has like he was fired as OC at Oklahoma, so like even though he won a natty there, eesh. Oh man, give me the Vols.
I'm on Rocky Top. I think Heupel sweeps him. Game's
I'll just
personal.
say between this and Ole Miss, I just think they're going to lose another one there. So give me a second loss.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll be 8-1 at this point after this stretch. So yeah, give me 7-2 with the loss at Tennessee.
Then after that, they have a bye week. Shout out to Barry Switzer. I love this photo. I think it's at the Orange Bowl, and he's sitting there looking, saying, "We're gonna come in here and fuck your team up, man." Barry, the legendary Barry Switzer. Then you come out of the bye week and you are heading to Tuscaloosa, where you ruined Alabama's season a year ago. Guess what? They will win this game. I feel very confident with them winning this game. So that is a third loss for me. How about you?
Yeah, 7-3. Wrong place, wrong time here. Alabama revenge big.
Yes. So then after that, you are hosting Eli Drinkwitz to Missouri. I do love the spot for Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma will win this game. What does that put me at?
We're both going to have them at 8-3 headed into this final game, which is a huge game.
Oh yeah, and Brian Kelly and his family are coming into Norman, Oklahoma. Oh man. I think LSU gets them in. What did I say on the LSU preview? I forget.
I think you said Oklahoma.
Okay. All right, give me Oklahoma. I'll stick to it. I think this is a 50-50 game.
I took LSU in that one to get them to the playoff.
So wait, you telling me I only have 2 losses for them though? No, I have 3.
Yeah.
No, I have 3, right? I have
3. Yeah.
South Carolina, Tennessee, and Bama. Okay, yeah, no, I feel pretty good about that. I think 8-4, 9-3 is what Oklahoma's gonna do.
Agreed.
You have Brian Kelly and his family getting that dub there.
Yeah, so I'm finishing 8-4.
That game's awesome, by the way. Okay, and then look, the win total is sitting at 6.5. So boom. I don't think I should lock this though, because I do believe there is a chance for complete taboo here. They're plus 2,500 to win the SEC, plus 520 to make the CFP, plus 5,000 to win the Natty. Let me build you a scenario. John Mateer runs the ball. What if John Mateer's injured? He is not. He's kind of a fragile guy, dude. Like, I mean, he never got injured at Wazoo, but I'm just saying he's not. He's a smaller guy. That is concerning to me because if he did, let's say against Michigan or Auburn or something, he did get injured. Then all those 50-50 games, where I went with OU, they would probably lose. This is one of the more high variance teams in college football. I think their ceiling is 10-2. I think their floor is what? Michigan, Texas losses, South Carolina 3. I mean, their floor is like 4-8.
Hell, even Auburn. They could lose to Auburn at home.
Of course, yeah. I mean, strip club freeze can dial up some bullshit. You know what I mean? This one's all over the place to me, and especially like Mateer's. The point that they made, the haters made, is he has been terrible against decent defenses for the most part. So there's some validity to it. I did a deep dive on it, but I still feel like the over is going to happen because I think Brent Venables is a good coach. But I think 8-4, 9-3. Let me ask you this: is 8-4 saves his job, right? Because another thing is, longtime AD at Oklahoma is out at the end of the calendar year, so I think that's going to buy him. What if he goes 6-6 and makes a bowl? Does he need to win that bowl to save his job?
I would think so. You can't have 3 out of 4 losing seasons at Oklahoma. He should go 8-4 with this schedule. I'm going to lock the over because I trust Venables. I think Venables back against the wall. Schedule I think breaks nicely. I'll take the coach with his back against the wall. So yeah, I'll lock the over. I think they're 8-4, maybe even 9-3.
Moneyline Mag locking up the over on Oklahoma. Some say Arklahoma.
Boomer.
I am not locking this with the 10-foot fucking pole.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a game and a half over, which traditionally you're just supposed to just automatically lock that. I mean, that shit. And I'm 2.5 games over. There's too much unknown here. There's too much unknown. I think the over is going to hit, but I don't know. I could also see them losing all those games. So that game too, if Mateer doesn't hit, if he doesn't hit, I could see him struggling. Because I don't think they have the depth. And another thing is I also think they are kind of shifting their offensive philosophy. They were like a run first team last year. Now, granted, that offense was trash, but they're going to full on air raid. Be interesting to see. All right, folks, we have the Marshall Thundering Herd on deck. So hey, there's a whole movie about them and everything too. From a Texas grad, right? Can't wait to watch OU football. I did a great slideshow honoring the history of Oklahoma football, which I love. I love the history of Oklahoma football. So check it out as we end here. YouTube.com/The College Experience. We're breaking out all 136 teams. Remember, there's some bonus episodes out on podcast form, iTunes, Spotify. Subscribe, please. It helps us too. Moneyline Max on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Till next time in about 15-20 minutes with the Marshall Thundering Herd. This is the college football experience. Enjoy the slideshow, Boomer Sooner style. You and someone send me some Switzer beers. You don't have to pay for it. I'm going to pay for it. I just need someone to get them for me. Who's a fucking truck driver? Listen to this. All right. This is the college football experience, Boomer Sooner style. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.
Mailbox 1. You have 7. Let's get 1.
I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. We're the obsession to be a part of that, started that. Mind over matter don't matter in the market. I've seen much smarter cats have heart attacks. Largely cause leaders need lambs to be lethargic. Match wits with the half-wit phantom. I don't need jumper cables or mic cords to analyze an analytical anthem. Between my two ears, an engine pumping the life force. Force field for your grip on the grievance. Still gonna feel unchallenged, aboard stiff. So arrange the pieces to appear cohesive. All the hard work will go largely ignored if your hands are covered with post-its and paper cuts. You need to have your voice in the vice grip. The one who made it famous ain't the one who made it up. You don't get overtime just for working the night shift.
I'm taking a pinch right now. It's like
I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart mind, body, and soul, or nothing without heart. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun mind, body, and soul, or nothing without love. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo mind, body, and soul, or nothing without truth. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. Every time I close my eyes, I'm taken to the same place, a playing field, and every contestant's got the game face. Everybody's yelling, you ought to play it safe. Make sure them shoes are tied and ankles taped. Shake the cobweb, hit the ground running. This is how cunning I can get with the footwork. You're doing it right, well, it shouldn't hurt. Flirt with greatness, still I run the famous. Nice high heels, I got mics for spikes. Trampling the home team and the turf for life. For the few fleet of foot, too fast for me. I fear none, cause I run and ignore the pair of feet by the tree that are fast asleep. In love with the game, you adore the hair. I believe in achievement. My soul isn't rewarded just cause it sees a goal and moves toward it. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. Conspiracy theories, gotta love them clearly. Nothing's more entertaining than entertaining a query. Just the words of the wise and the weary. Recognize the authors of reality and theory. Theoretically, I could have won Scribble Jam. In reality, I lost to a legend. Theoretically, I'm best friends with Uncle Sam. In reality, I've never even met him. Now, one day my potential may become reputation. Until then, I'm still a work in progress. I suggest you question what I'm saying. If anything, to become familiar with the process. My agenda may suit your needs. When I say your Bill of Rights has been ripped to shreds, but if it defends what you believe, hold dear to your truths and scream fuck seeds. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself.